Hi, my name's Kathy. I use she, her pronouns, and I work for the Pikes Peak Library District. Today, I'll be showing you how to make white chocolate blueberry dragon egg truffles. This recipe comes from the Wizard's Dessert Cookbook by Aurelia Beaupommier. It's a cookbook of recipes inspired by various fantasy, mostly books, but some movies and games as well. So this dragon egg truffle recipe in the book is called Saphira's Eggs for Saphira from Aragon. The ingredients in this book are measured by weight. So when I give the ingredients here, I will give the gram measurements. That's how I will be measuring them because I have a kitchen scale and it's a little more precise. But I also measured them out in US measurements. So I'll give you the approximate cup and tablespoon equivalent as well so that you can make this if you don't have a kitchen scale. The ingredients for this recipe are 30 grams or a little less than a quarter cup of frozen blueberries, fresh works as well, 100 grams or a little more than 7 tablespoons of butter, 40 grams or about 2.5 tablespoons of heavy cream, 250 grams or a little less than 1.5 cups of white chocolate pieces, and 75 grams or 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar. The equipment that you'll need is a blender, a pot and spoon, some plastic wrap, and a small bowl. To start, we're going to make our blueberries into a paste. The recipe calls for frozen blueberries, but I've tried it with both fresh and frozen, and it works fine either way. I have found that you can buy a smaller package of fresh blueberries than you can of frozen. So if you don't want a lot left over, I would say go with fresh. So I have my 30 grams of blueberries here. I'm going to put them in my blender. We're going to make a paste. I found that I need to run the blender once and then take a rubber spatula or some other utensil and scrape down the sides of the blender and then run it again to make sure that everything is nice and smooth and there aren't any chunks in there. My blueberries are all blended into a paste now. I tried this with a few different devices to see what worked best. The recipe asks for an immersion blender or a food processor, but I found that those didn't do as well as the regular blender in making a nice smooth paste. Now it's time to take it to the stove. So I have my pot over here on the burner. I'm going to set it on low heat and then melt the butter. Then once all the butter is melted, add in my heavy cream, my white chocolate, and my blueberry paste from the blender, and just stir it all together until it's all melted and mixed thoroughly. So here's my mixture. All of the chocolate in here is melted. It's all mixed together and smooth and homogeneous. You can see it's sort of a thick mixture with those speckles of blueberries in it. So we're going to take this off of the heat now and set it aside until it cools to room temperature. Then after it's cooled to room temperature, I'll put some plastic wrap on the top and then stick it in the fridge to finish cooling for another 3 hours. Okay, my mixture just finished. It's 3 hours in the fridge. I just washed my hands again. So we have the cold mixture. I have a scoop here that I'll be using to scoop out each individual truffle. This is about a tablespoon. If you don't have a scoop, that'll give you an idea of about how much to pull out at once. And then I have my little bowl with my powdered sugar in it here that we'll be rolling it in. So I'm gonna scoop out, like I said, about a tablespoon here, and then gently roll it into an eggy shape. It can be a little sticky. And then after you've got it vaguely egg-shaped, go ahead and dump it in the powdered sugar and roll it in there. And just tap it a little to get the extra powdered sugar off of it. So there's one, and this makes about 20 truffles this size. Okay, I finished shaping all of my mixture into my truffles here. Powdered sugar is absolutely everywhere. Your eggs aren't all going to look the same here. Real eggs don't look the same. No one would expect the truffles that you've made with your 2 human hands to all look the same. After you've made all your truffles, you'll want to put them in a container and store them in the fridge. There's a few different options that you could do with this recipe. You could change out the berries, so you could use raspberries or blackberries or probably strawberries as well in place of the blueberries if you want to. You could use a milk or dark chocolate or roll them in cocoa powder instead of powdered sugar, but then you do kind of lose the effect that you get with the white chocolate and the powdered sugar, where you can see the speckles of the berry color coming through, which I think is what gives it more of a dragon eggy effect. But if you prefer darker chocolate, go for it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy your dragon egg truffles.